Now it's time for the Texas Stars intermission interview. Once again, here's Owen Newkirk.
And welcome back, everybody, live here at Cox Convention Center. End of 40 minutes of play. And the Oklahoma City Barons have a slim 1-0 lead over the Texas Stars. We are joined by Texas Stars general manager and now this year, I believe, director of hockey operations for the Dallas Stars. Scott White joins us here in the second intermission. And Scott, thanks so much, first of all, for joining us tonight. How has the transition to being in Frisco full-time and being, I would assume, more involved with the Dallas Stars while still doing everything you've done for the Texas Stars, how has that transition gone so far?
It's been pretty smooth. It was a little hectic of a spring and summer, but all in all, it's been a good experience. Fortunately, in Cedar Park, we've got really good people working not only in the building and around, but Brian Garcia, Georgie Lopez, Jason Wallace, our new trainer, and then our coach has done a great job kind of offsetting me not being there full time. They've picked up a little bit of that slack, but all in all, I think it's been pretty good, and our schedule's been so thin, as you know. My time hasn't been as plenty as it will be in Cedar Park.
Now, obviously, being more involved with Dallas means that your focus may be taken a little bit more with the NHL club.
Yeah.
Still very much focused with Texas, but will you be a little bit more involved with some of the decision-making and things that go on with Dallas?
I'm involved in all facets, which is really good. It's kind of like I was doing in the past. However, now I'm just there more full-time, so you're more hands-on, obviously, when you're present. So that part's been good. But for instance, this weekend I'm going with a big team out west, and won't be in Cedar Park, but other guys will be in Cedar Park. So it's all. I'll be in and out of town a lot, and looking forward to being around.
Well, there's been a lot of things going on with the Texas Stars roster over the last couple of days. You've been pretty busy, I would imagine. Talk a little bit about first, just again, having the opportunity for Dallas to be able to send a guy like Aaron Rome here to get some game action, because he didn't get the kind of preseason training camp game action that he probably would have wanted to get into the start of the year.
Yeah, he's been banged up for the last couple of years, so he hasn't played a lot of hockey. You can see it tonight. I mean, it's his first game in 7 months, 8 months. So much like Patrick Nemeth had a tough time getting going in camp. Once he got going, he was fine. So, yeah, it's fortunate. It's a good situation. We weren't far. Aaron was on the road with the big team, then just flew in here yesterday, practiced, and it all went well. So it's good. It's good he gets some playing time, and then hopefully he'll get 3 or 4 games under his belt, and then see how it goes.
Well, you look at the defensive depth that the organization has now, sending a guy like Ryan Button and Hubert Labrie down to Idaho. You have William Wren, who's a healthy scratch tonight, has played the first couple of games, and I thought has looked pretty good for the Stars so far. Seems like there's some options on the blue line from top to bottom in the organization. For
sure, and I've always liked that in our minor league system, because you know we're going to be short in the middle of January. We're going to be out in Timbuktu and need a defenseman. And I like to know who we're getting, and I think we're in a position to know those players. So it's a good thing. I know all the players want to be here if they're not, but unfortunately, the most important thing is guys have to play. That's why Hubert and Ryan went down, and Taylor Vaz as well. They're not going to get in here in the if it stays status quo, and they got to play games, get ice time on the ice, and that's what Idaho is about.
Well, the commodity that Vaz brings to the ice, and he showed that again in the first couple of games this year. Do you think it'll be real beneficial for him to be able to play some maybe extended minutes, maybe some more specialty teams offensively with a team like Idaho?
Yeah, you're right on, Owen. I exactly what I told him last night when I called him to say, hey, we're going to send you down. I just said, this is a chance for you to go be a top-line guy and work on your offense. I know he's a responsible player in the American Hockey League, but his offense really, I don't think, came very much. So, he's not going to score 30 goals in the AHL, but he should be able to score 30 in the ECHL. So I think that just adds players' confidence. And then when he comes back up, when he gets his opportunities, he's just got to be ready to go.
We've talked about goaltending for a long time. Your depth has already been tested with the injury, kind of a freak one to Kari Lehtinen, but how beneficial, and you probably set it up that way, to have both a guy like Josh Robinson and I thought a very good performance in the preseason from Pat Nagel as well, to have those two along with Nilstorp and Campbell, really good depth from Texas to Idaho.
Oh, yeah, again, it's important for our team in Texas to have that. You never know. Much like this was obviously an unexpected time for Jack to go up, but it is what it is, and Josh Robinson, he did really well in Dallas's camp. Then Pat Nagel has had some experience the past couple of years and was very comfortable with signing him on for depth. And then Josh and he are just going to go at it, and whoever's playing better is going to get the nod up here.
It seems like the relationship between the Stars in Texas as well as with Brad Ralph and the Idaho Steelheads is fantastic, and they're really going to benefit from some of the added depth the Stars have for their AHL team.
Yeah, for sure. Brad's a good young coach. He's organized, detailed, and it's not an easy job in the ECHL, so he's done a good job, and it's a good place to play. The quality of life for the ECHL in Boise, Idaho is strong, and it's a good setup.
A new guy that we haven't had a chance to see a whole lot of. Brendan Ranford makes his pro debut tonight. Played a couple preseason games for the Stars, but has showed some flashes of some interesting characteristics, particularly for a guy who's not the biggest on the ice, but has made some plays tonight where he's shown some strength on his feet and some shiftiness that he seems to be very elusive out there.
Yeah, he played well in Traverse City, I thought, with the Dallas team, and then went into big camp. He did okay in the big camp. And then, he's just getting his feet wet. It's so hard with this few games, to really get going. But he has some skill. He's got a little toughness to him. You mentioned it tonight. He has good instincts, and he's going to get more comfortable and get going. But he's all kids are nervous when they first get going. But he's doing all right. And I'd like to see him in January rather than this weekend how he is. I think he'll be okay in the second half.
Big addition to the Stars lineup is Chris Mueller, a guy that was signed probably for as much AHL depth as NHL depth. Kudos to him to making the opening night roster. That really speaks to his skill level and his, the way he was playing. But it doesn't hurt the Texas Stars lineup to have a guy like him in their roster.
Well, he's exactly what we expected. He's a very responsible player. Can play the fourth line in the NHL as a centerman or a winger, and then come down here and be a top line, top two line, whatever it is. If he's playing the middle, he's right with Mo, with Travis Morin, and if he's playing the wing, he's probably playing with Morin like he is tonight. So good player, solid character, solid citizen, guys we like to have around our room. And with our fans in Cedar Park, they'll grow accustomed to him.
You mentioned Travis Morin. You've got a lot of familiarity over 4 years, one of the original Stars.
Yep.
Absolutely fantastic opening weekend for him in terms of 6 points, and I think we both agree he should have been the AHL Player of the Week in
I
week
should have
one.
copied our fans that email I sent you. Anyway, no, it was Travis had a phenomenal weekend. I honestly don't know how. I know a defenseman got a bunch of points, but I really couldn't care less about that. But Mo deserved the nod from the league. He's been a good soldier in this league for a long time. He had a really good camp in Dallas. He's playing with a lot more jump than he's had in the past. He's in good fitness, good form, and he's doing what we expected here. So what we need now is some complementary and support scoring. As you know, obviously, when you don't score, you're not going to be in a lot of games or not going to win a lot of games. So we're around it here. A little disappointed with some of our play. I know we've been off in the rust. The rust was a little present there. We had 3 2-on-1s late in the period, as I'm sure you recall, and no shots on net. Missed the net once, and then they blocked 2. Can't happen. You got to get one of those in the net. But hopefully we'll keep pushing.
It seemed like the Stars had the edge in the first period, other than scores to show for it.
Yeah.
In the second period, it was the second half.
Yeah, for sure. It was exact opposites. Yep. Yeah, I agree with your assessment there for sure. We were. I thought our start was really good in the first. Had a few chances, nothing major. They came on, they got their legs going, and then I thought after they scored, we were a little lull, but after that I thought we took it over. Now we just got to find the back of the net. Well,
there was some real momentum with Jack Campbell, the way he played in Traverse City, from what I heard, as well as what you saw in the stats. Heard that he was pretty good in Dallas camp as well. He had a great start against Chicago. Thought he looked real sharp. Christopher Nilstorp may be a little disappointed with himself for the first game against Rockford 2 weeks ago Sunday. Looks like he's made some 3 or 4 real big saves in the second period to keep it a 1-goal game.
Exactly. He's doing his job. I think your evaluation of him, he was just so in big camp. And he did admit that. It's all about confidence as a goalie, especially if you're a veteran guy like him. And hopefully with him getting the net here a little bit, he'll garner some of that confidence. And he's a little better tonight. He's moving around a little too much for my liking, but he's making the saves, and that's what counts.
A bit of a scare in the second period. Brett Ritchie limped off, fortunately came back. He's a kid that I know it seems like everybody's very high on watching him develop.
Yeah, he's fine. He's a big man, and he plays older than he really is. At times his presence on the ice, he's got to learn some details of the game and consistency, much like a lot of first-year guys, but the last month he spent in Texas last spring was very important for him, and I think it's just a matter of time. He can score goals. We need him to score goals with the guys that, there's always turnover in your group. So we need him to put some pucks away, but I think that'll come.
Lastly, just one quick question for you as we get ready for the start of the second period here in a few minutes. Having that core,
Yeah.
the original stars, the 4 guys that are still here. I know everybody was a little surprised that Luke Gazik wasn't the final 5, but final 4. And then you add a guy like Toby Peterson in that mix, who was here last year, the coaches from last year. You have to feel like your veteran experience and the leadership is still intact, even with some of the new pieces in place.
I feel a heck of a lot better than I did in the past, and I think our coaches, which is most important, are comfortable with the league, comfortable with their surroundings in Cedar Park, accustomed to all the ins and outs of the AHL, and I know we have a really good core of veteran guys that are really good people, and they're good players, and I think that's important because being a good guy, good person, living a good lifestyle is important, and it rubs off on our young guys, and they do that, I believe, and it's very important as we develop young players down here.
Whitey, it's always too easy. Thanks so much. We always appreciate your time, and good luck the rest of the way here tonight.
All right, we'll catch you soon.
That's Scott White, the general manager of the Texas Stars, joining us here for the intermission report. We'll be back after this, 1-0 Oklahoma City on the Texas Stars Hockey Network.